How will you feel when you're 80 and you cannot get up from your chair? Yeah, we're going to go there. Every health strategy seems to come with a trade off. Yet, when we talk about rapid weight loss, everybody is just celebrating the damn number on the scale. Hi, I'm Crystal from Brave Bold You. Welcome back to my channel. And today I want to talk about the health trade offs that no one actually seems to be talking about when it comes to rapid weight loss. Let's get into it. All right, let's talk about it. When we talk about weight loss, we tend to think that it is actually fat loss. However, when we are talking about a rapid weight loss transformation, I'm talking dropping a good 20, 30 pounds in a month. Yeah, that's what people tend to think is the normal, when actually that is ridiculously fast and very dangerous. What happens when we lose weight at such an accelerated rate is we're not actually losing a lot of fat. What tends to happen is we lose maybe some fat, but we're also going to lose a lot of muscle. Now, muscle weight loss is detrimental in the sense that muscle is literally the organ we need for our overall vitality, health, and wellness. Why should we care? Because as women in midlife, we are automatically going to be losing, on average, about 1% of a muscle decline every year that we age. Now, you could be like, who cares? I look great. The scale went down. Muscle is such a vital organ to our body. Muscle is what drives metabolism. Muscle is what protects our bones. Muscle is what helps improve our insulin sensitivity. And muscle is going to determine how quickly you age or don't age. Now, naturally, we're all aging. However, there is a thing called metabolic age. And based on if you are using a scale that gives you actually all of these indications, which is what I would say, if you're just using a scale that's telling you the basic number that you lost, you're doing yourself the hugest disservice because what is more beneficial to you would be to use a scale that actually gives you all of these indications. It's going to tell you what your muscle mass is. It's going to tell you what your skeletal mass is. It's going to tell you what your metabolic age is. And when it comes to metabolic age, the thing of like for me, example, I'm 47 and my metabolic age has been 51 since I had my spinal flares. Prior to that, I was pretty much close to the age, like I was about a year either under or a year over to what my current age was. And so what that determines is like people are like, who cares? You're close to what it is, like 51, 47. But that is a huge discrepancy in my books. Wanting to age gracefully, I guess is the word that I'm looking for. So when you have a rapid weight loss transformation, you're actually doing your future self a huge disservice. This next one is for those who are on a GLP-1 journey. Yes, I'm on a GLP-1 journey, but I'm going low and slow. Come closer. I want to hold your hand when I tell you this. We are supposed to feel hunger. When you are on a GLP-1 journey, it is natural that your hunger cues will be suppressed slightly. However, there tends to be, and again, I'm not a medical professional by any means, but please do your research and have your medical team support you in this. But when we tend to jump up and increase, we bump up the dosing and we bump it up higher and higher and higher. And I have heard women say, I had to increase the dose because I actually started to feel hungry again. Feeling hungry is part of our biological response. We need food to eat. And so, the huge disservice that you are now doing to yourself by having no hunger cues is you're messing up with your body's natural physiological cues. You're also messing naturally with your body's satiety cues. And when we do this, the results are we're eating a lot less protein, we're eating a lot less of the other micronutrients and the macronutrients. And what does that mean? When we're not eating enough to support the body we have, our body will start to eat its muscle and bone. And so, what does that look like? I don't know. Ask yourself when you're 80. Naturally, your hunger cues will go down. Naturally, your satiety signals will be skewed a little bit. And yes, the food noise may go away. However, we need food to survive. It's a physiological, biological response. We need food. If we do not consume the food, we do not have the nutrients, the macronutrients, the micronutrients in order to sustain having a healthy body. And so, when I hear women say, I had to increase the dosage because my food noise still didn't go away and I'm still hungry, no, that is not what a GLP-1 should be doing. It will naturally suppress these things. However, you should still have some hunger cues. So if your dose is excessively high, I'm going to say, especially for those who are having a lot of the side effects, please speak to your medical professional team. Do your research about this. I am very loud and proud. I started a low dose of a GLP-1. I started on June 25th, 2025. We are February 2026, and I have maintained a weight loss, or I should say a fat loss, inflammation loss, because you're going to lose naturally, you will naturally lose some muscle while you lose weight. The goal should be to lose more fat versus muscle. And so, if we're going low and slow and we're doing all the things, we're doing the resistance training, we're managing our stress, we're getting our sleep, we're hydrating, we're getting in the protein, we're getting in the fiber, we're nourishing our body with all the good macronutrients and the micronutrients to support the functions of a healthy body. The number on the scale means nothing. Um, we will feel naturally more energetic and we'll have more vitality and energy to get through our everyday. And let's be honest, when you lose weight at such a rapid rate, what you ultimately end up doing is you have such an impact on your overall metabolism. What that looks like is your metabolism is going to slow down. You're going to naturally save energy, which means your body won't be burning as many calories at rest because it's trying to protect itself. What this looks like is it also influences your hormones. So things like your thyroid get really impacted. And for women who are in midlife like I am, our bodies are already undergoing so much stress due to this whole biological shift. You know, like our sleep is really impacted due to the decline in estrogen and progesterone. Your cortisol is increased. You become insulin resistant. And not to mention that our muscle is rapidly declining, as I've already spoken about. So, what ultimately ends up impacting your metabolism is you're going to end up coming into what's called metabolic adaptation. Now, what that looks like is when you have been on extreme diets for too long, or just really drastically cutting things out. Like, I I've seen it all. I've heard it all. I myself have done some whack things in the past. And so, if this is you, I'm really holding your hand and I see you and I want you to know that you're so much more than the size of your body. Ultimate health has nothing to do with the number on a scale. And so, what ends up happening is the metabolic adaptation is basically your body's overall trying to protect itself. So, as I said, you're not going to be burning as many calories at rest. What ends up happening long term due to this metabolic adaptation is you need to eat less and less food in order just to maintain where you're at. Now, Long term, that's not sustainable. I know for myself when I was in those crazy dieting cycles, there's no way that I could see myself going long term at such low calories. There are so many things that happen to your body that will that it's naturally fighting itself. So you end up losing your hair, your skin, really, like you're going to have hormonal imbalances. You might break out. Um, there's a host of things because your body is smarter than you and it is trying to stay alive. So it's going to do what it can to protect itself. And in order to do that, it's going to eat away at precious muscle and at bone in order to keep itself as healthy as it can in this deprived state. So, if you're curious about how to heal from metabolic adaptation, make sure you check out my next video where I'm going to actually share the steps I took in order to heal my metabolism because there is a way to heal it. And I'm going to share that in the next video. It is not an overnight process, but I want to share with you the tips that I took myself through in order to heal and really repair my metabolism as well as repair my mental health and the body story and the food story so that they didn't have power over me anymore. So again, if you hit that notification bell, you'll be the first to know when I drop this new content. And if you can let me know below how this video has landed for you and what else you'd like me to discuss, because as a woman in midlife, I understand the pressures that we're seeing of, you know, getting smaller and smaller and smaller at all costs. And I just really want to be loud and proud to tell you that, yes, even though I am on a GLP-1 journey, it was never about really reducing my weight to a size that makes me fit into these tiny little boxes. It was mostly just to repair and heal from excess inflammation in my body and the joint pain and all the things that came with being at a heavier weight for my frame. And this is why I'm going low and slow because I want to hold on to this precious muscle. I want to hold on to this skeletal bone. I want to be as healthy as possible. And my GLP-1 journey is not, to me, it's not going to be a long term endeavor. I'm really just playing with it now. I'm on an experimentation. I'm on the lowest dose still, what's considered the loading dose. And I'm 7 months in? So almost 8. There's no reason to go as fast as society is pressuring us. On average, I'm going to put this under air quotations, a healthy journey of fat loss would be 1 to 2 pounds a week versus trying to drop all of the weight like yesterday. So, what I want to ask you, I'm going to leave you with this question. Anything in life comes with a cost. And so, as spring is just around the corner and summer, it's going to go fast. I want to just invite you to know that there is actually no rush. And if you feel yourself rushing to lose all the weight. First of all, I have a video all on that to really just change that narrative. It's not weight loss, change it to fat loss, because if we do a proper sustainable approach to fat loss, people who lose fat at a slower rate tend to keep it off versus people who are going through these rapid weight loss transformations, which we now know that they didn't just lose fat, they lost a lot of muscle and skeletal bone as well and impacted their overall hormones. um, is it worth it? Is this worth it in the long run, in the long game of life? Is it worth it? Will your 80-year-old version of you be proud that you hurried to lose all the weight that you will most likely regain and then some, because there's like that within that metabolic adaptation there will be a rebound of weight, meaning you're going to gain mostly all of your weight, if not more, in order to really protect your metabolism. And from that, you're going to need to eat less to still just maintain that. And so, is it worth it in the long game of life? Is it really worth it? That's all I have for you today. Thanks for being here. Again, I'm so grateful for you. Be brave, be bold, be you.